All right. So we're going to get started so we don't keep you here all night. You guys. Welcome to our wonderful event, Service Learning Opportunities Abound. My name is Professor Elaine Winship. For those of you that are meeting me for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are return customers, glad to have you here with us. This event is an event that is completely conceptualized, designed, planned, hosted, promoted by the 12 or 11 students in my CA 322 class. So if you're a comm arts major, this is part of a class that's called Public Relations, Event Planning, and Crisis Communication. So I just want to thank the 12 students that have put on an amazing event and filled almost all of our seats tonight. They are the folks that are in black shirts with name tags right here. Can you all just stand so the rest of the folks here can see you? And I just want to give them a really big round of applause and say thank you for all the hard work you've done to put this event together. So the good news is this isn't going to be like a class. I'm not going to be hosting this event. I'm going to give the whole event over to my students. They are your hosts tonight, and we have an amazing program in store for you. We have guest speakers that have traveled from afar and some that haven't traveled too far, but nevertheless, they've dedicated their time to all of you tonight to help you better understand what service learning is all about and how you can use the skills that you earn in service learning to get some really great jobs, internships, or just some life skills. So I'm going to turn the mic over to my two wonderful hosts, Patrick Owen and James Hannigan.
Thank you so much, Professor Winship, and thank you all for coming. Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming. I'm Patrick Owens.
And I'm James Hannigan.
And we're very, very excited to share with you the stories of STAC graduates and current students at STAC that have used service learning as a tool to help them land internships and jobs.
Before this announcement, I just want to take the time because I've been asked this a lot, and the common question is, what is service learning? And in the simplest form, it's targeted community service. When you take a service learning class with Professor Winship in communications, you're learning and applying communication skills, and you're applying those strategies to real nonprofit organizations. In other words, it's a great mutual relationship. You're giving back to the community, but at the same time, you're learning things that you can put right on your resume. With that said, it's just a friendly announcement. Please hold all questions until all the speakers have gone. We have reserved time for questions after this. Thank you very much.
So our first speaker is a current senior here at STAC. She's planned a communication arts event for STAC and completed a service learning project with local nonprofits such as Bacon Memories for Kids. And she also worked as a social media intern at Deer Kill Day Camp. She also worked at Active International as a digital media intern, and she is currently interning at Bay Lounge Society as a social media coordinator. Here is Carly Bonadonna.
Hello, my name is Carly. I'm a senior at STAC. I'm studying, is this on? I'm studying communication arts and digital marketing. Okay, so some of my internship experiences, in order, Deer Kill Day Camp, I was the social media coordinator there this past summer. Last fall, I was a digital media intern for Active International, which is like a media barter company. And then currently, my sister and I run an Instagram account. She's a hairdresser. And her and I run this account, and it's kind of just like a platform where other hairdressers can share their work and different products that they've created. So my service learning experience was with Baking Memories for Kids. To give you a little context about what they do, essentially the founder, his name is Frank Squio, he discovered a lump in his neck while he was on vacation, and it turned out to be cancer. And he went through a lot of treatment for the cancer, and it was a very harsh form of cancer. And fortunately, he was given a second chance at life and he survived, and he decided to create Baking Memories for Kids, which basically the company sends terminally ill and sick children on dream vacations with their family. It's all expenses paid for, to the Disney Florida theme parks. And so I had the privilege of working with them last semester with my class. So my roles for the service learning, I was the social media coordinator for both STAC and Baking Memories specifically for their Instagram accounts. I was on the event team. I was one of the event team planners. My class threw an event for them actually in this room in order to gain awareness and to sell bins of their cookies in effort to gain donations that will go towards the charity. I also volunteered for their bake day. They have like a few bake days throughout the season where you can volunteer and help bake their cookies and package them so that you can sell them for donations. And along with my classmates, we helped raise over 500 followers on Instagram in the time that we worked with Baking Memories. And there were three of my favorite aspects about service learning. I'm going to tell you them in order from my favorite to most important to least important. The first thing that's most important is helping others. This was definitely like an eye-opening experience for my classmates and I because it makes you realize like how fortunate you are. There are a lot of sick children that are involved with this company, and it was really eye-opening to be allowed to work with them. The second important thing is the hands-on experience. It's different when you're learning something from a textbook. Like when you're learning something from a textbook, it's not the same as actually doing it. So when you're applying all of the knowledge that our professors have given us to the actual company, it really allowed us to make the connections and to apply the knowledge to the company. And then lastly, we're able to put this on our resume. So this actually has helped me in an interview recently. I recently interviewed for an internship this summer in Israel, and I got the internship. So they were really impressed when I told them about my service learning experience. And like I just said, in a recent interview, I was given the opportunity to intern in Israel this summer. And then also, most importantly, this service learning experience, it has helped me with my sister and I's Instagram that we're doing today together. So to give you some insight, you could see the metrics at the top. So we have over 150,000 followers. You could see the gender of like the people and the followers and the impressions on some of the photos that we post. And then this service learning has helped me because I learned a lot of social media marketing strategies. I learned how to do a lot of event planning to gain sponsorships from local companies for the event that we threw. And also, I think every student should participate in service learning because it's really important, again, giving back to others, and then also getting the knowledge that not only that your professors give you, but the hands-on experience really help contribute to the whole learning process. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly. Our next speaker, what should we call it? Our next speaker is a recent STAC alumni who worked with organizations such as People to People and United Way. She is currently working as an associate producer for CNBC Englewood, New Jersey. Here is Erin Durkin.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Erin Durkin. As they said, I'm a recent graduate of STAC. I graduated in May of 2019, so just last year. And I got to work with Professor Winship so many times. She was my advisor, and I took a lot of classes like this exact one, the PR event planning, as well as social media marketing. And those were the two classes that really got me into service learning for my future. And I got to work with internships and such. So the first organization I worked with was People to People in 2017. We look great, don't we? So while I was there, so if, for those of you who don't know, so People to People is Rockland County's largest food bank. It's right in Nanuet, New York. And I was a social media intern, so I created social media content for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I worked with Gianna, actually, who is also one of the speakers tonight. We were both interning at the same time. What we also did was really cool is while I was in social media marketing, I actually got to learn how to blog and create blogging content. So when I got this internship, I actually created the official blog for People to People called People with a Story, and we kind of combined it together, and we made about 6 months worth of content for that blog, so that even though when we were done, we could actually still have them to jump off and actually learn how to blog as well. We visited in Nanuet about once a week or so, every so often, and we actually got to volunteer. We got to check in with news and updates. And what's really, really great about that is that you actually get to see what's going on. That's one of the biggest things about service learning, is that when you're also working, like Carly said, you're learning things in the classroom, and then you're also taking it to a whole new level, because you're actually seeing what's happening in Rockland County, what's happening in the world, and it really just you kind of want to help more. It really helps you want to do different things for people. So Gianna and I also created these little interviews for people that work there as well. So we had the People with a Story, where we interviewed different employees of People to People, and it was really great because there are so many people that work for that organization that probably have little to no recognition, that they do endless things for years, 10 and 15 years. So we wanted to kind of show them off and see, like, these are the people that are also helping others get to where they need to be. And so they're dealing with just so many physical, financial, like emotional things that other people are going through. So it's really nice to give them a little spotlight. So I also worked with United Way. This was in my PR content development class. Our holiday initiative was Hope for the Holidays, which helped get presents for underprivileged children for Christmas and kind of give them like a little specialty thing for Christmas. So for this, I actually got to write different news stories. It actually got featured on Rockland News and Views, which was really cool because I got to learn so many different things in this class as well, because I got to learn how to write press releases. I learned how to write different stories for social media, and this actually helped me with so many of my internships in the future, which I'm going to get to, is that I also interned for STAC's head of communications, where I used what I learned in that class. I used press releases, and I wrote press releases in that class, and I got to do that in my internship, and I wrote official press releases for STAC. So let's see. So for my last semester of senior year, I worked for STAC's enrollment marketing and campus communications. So I was in charge of all STAC social media platforms. So anything that you saw on STAC was probably me last year. I created official press releases, and what was an amazing experience with this internship is that I actually was asked to be a voiceover for STAC's upcoming open house event. So I was actually on WCBS radio AM, and they played that ad a bunch of times of me talking about my experiences at STAC and how that helped me. So both of these things really helped me gain my overall internship that I just got back, which was the Disney College program. So again, networking during these events and during these internships really just helped me for the future, because I knew how to speak for when I graduated. So this was my biggest accomplishment after graduation that I learned in the class and through my internships. So I worked in the Disney College program, which is a 4-month program living and working in Walt Disney World in Florida. Or you can also work in Disneyland in Anaheim, California. So I also made an Instagram. I saw that you had an Instagram too, Carly. So I made an Instagram tracking my entire adventure, if you guys want to go follow it. So that was just, I learned how to talk with people all around the world, and it really just all comes back to everything. It comes back to networking. It comes back to wanting to learn more. So this is actually my newest position that I just accepted in this past February. I'm a production associate for CNBC in Englewood Cliffs, and all of these, I just learned how to speak. I learned and gained knowledge for my future. So if I could give any advice on working with these organizations, is that nothing's too small. Because when you might think a nonprofit organization is something small, but it really can help you build up to your future, like Disney, like CNBC. So definitely always network, always want to learn more. For example, I was at work the other day at CNBC, and I just wanted to learn more. And I was told that I didn't have to go to a meeting because I didn't need to be there. But I went out to my boss and I said, hey, I want to learn more. Can I come to you with this meeting and just kind of sit in the back and talk, or while you guys talk and just listen? And she said, yeah, of course. So I sat there and I took notes, and I really think that that's going to help me prepare for my future in CNBC. So I just want to thank you guys so much. This is a little my contact information if you want to add me on LinkedIn, follow my Instagram. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Aaron. Our next speaker is just a sophomore at STAC, but has accomplished so much in such a little short period of time. He currently works as a social media intern for the school and Baking Memories for Kids. He is also very skilled in video content and has his very own YouTube channel. Here is the one and only Mark Keegan.
Thanks, Pat. Thank you. Sell me this pen. Sell me this pen. Sell me this pen. I'm just kidding. Thank you all, seriously. Thank you for coming here tonight. It means a lot. I know it's a Thursday night. Is anyone a bio major? Anyone? No, so you probably don't have class on Friday. So really, it does mean a lot that you spent your Thursday nights here with us to be at this event. I am Mark Keegan. Some of you I know. I'm so glad that you came. Some of you I don't know. Super nice to meet you. Guys, I did my service learning experience with Baking Memories for Kids up here. Amazing non-for-profit organization. Carly told you a little bit about it. They send terminally ill and sick children on the vacations of a lifetime. They go to the Florida amusement parks, Disney World, Universal Studios. I think there's a water park now down there, Volcano Bay. Really cool. I went one day, you know, bring a bathing suit, whatever. It's fun. But up there, guys, a little bit about me. Something called Mark and Matt Studios. This is how I got started. Actually, Matt, the guy that I run my own film company with, is here tonight. Matt, what's up, man? Thank you for coming out, Matt. Round of applause for this guy. He's a cool guy. We have an Instagram. We have everything, I promise. This is how I got started in this, guys. A lot of these speakers tonight are social media content development majors. My focus is in the production side. So when you're posting on social media, you need great images. You need great videos, right? So who's in charge of making those videos and capturing those images? Right here. You come to me. Mark and Matt Studios is a great way to kick off my production career. I have over 45 short films on that channel. Seriously, if you want to check it out, I would appreciate it. But let's get to Baking Memories for Kids. They are my current internship. Because of the work I did with them in my fall semester, they asked me to stay on as an intern currently right now. It's a great experience, and it's actually led me to some awesome job opportunities. The other day, with Baking Memories for Kids, I met with their founder, Frank Squio. He's an awesome guy, cancer survivor, all right? He saw these kids in the hospitals, these sick children around him. He beat cancer and then decided, let me start my own company to help these children that I see around me, because that's just the right thing to do. Started this company by himself. To this day, there's about 1 or 2 employees. It's him and his cousin, Christina Metz. She handles all the PR for him. They're a great duo, and I actually was with them the other day. We filmed 5 commercials that will be going on television next holiday season. That was a super cool opportunity for me and something that I love, something that I'm really excited about. But it wouldn't have been possible without my service learning project, without making the connection with Baking Memories for Kids. There's no way that I would have been there. So my role, obviously, I was a videographer, but I was also the editor. So any videos that I made, I had to take it to the editing floor. There was me and Winship talked a lot about, Mark, how long did this take you? I would say, it took me 15 hours to edit that video, whatever. I'd stay up all through the night just to edit that video, because when you're in this industry, when you want to be a production person, a director, an editor, you need to stay up through the whole night. You need to make the perfect edit, because you want your work to show your skills perfectly. One thing that I learned from Baking Memories for Kids, time management. A lot of times, you know, you got a lot of things going on. You got homework. I have a girlfriend. Yeah, great. I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. You got to manage your girlfriend. You got to manage your homework. You got to make time for mom and dad. There's so many things going on in everyone's life. So how do you make time for your home life, your school life, and also your service learning project? Something like this totally teaches you how to take everything one step at a time. Seriously. It's a great experience, something that I love. You also learn how to involve your local community. Ever since working with Baking Memories for Kids, I actually had an awesome opportunity. Just by involving them in the community, I've been asked this summer with Baking Memories for Kids to go to Yankee Stadium. We're going to be surprising a sick child at Yankee Stadium on the field this summer, and that is such an awesome thing. getting the community involved, just by meeting with Frank, going to his house, being personal with him, it has led to something as awesome as that. I love the Yankees. Anyone else a Yankee fan? I'm sorry. Anyone? Not enough Yankee fans at all, guys. Come on. Yankees, guys. What are you doing? Alrighty, why should you get involved? Guys, service learning projects help you gain connections. Seriously, if you want to make a name for yourself in this industry, in the communications world, social media, content, production world, you need to have great connections. You need to have people to vouch for you. Grades are one thing. If you have A+ grades, congratulations. I don't always get an A. I don't. And, those Bs and stuff put me a step behind in the job world, in my competition, when I go on interviews. But things like this, actual experience, producing videos, directing videos, being in videos, editing them, that helps me put myself a step above the game, or at least put me in competition with those A+ students. Maximize the experience. Guys, if you have an opportunity to get an internship, if you have an opportunity to be in one of Winship's classes and have an awesome company like Baking Memories that you're representing, or United Way of Rockland like you guys are representing, don't fly under the radar. Take time. Put some effort in there. Ask Winship, hey, I'd like to make a video for them. I'd like to make a trailer for them. Or say, hey, can I run the Instagram for that company? That's something I'm really passionate about, right? Don't waste the experience. Don't fly under the radar. Put yourself out there. Next thing, guys, just stay motivated. There's always going to be people out there telling you what you made isn't good, what you're doing. There's someone out there that's better than you. Don't worry about that. Just cancel out the no. I've had people tell me my videos are terrible. I've had people tell me that my videos are great. I don't really listen to either thing. I just say I liked it personally. I'm happy with the way it came out. Listen to the helpful critics out there who say this is good, this needs work. Those are the type of people that actually want to help your success. Winship has often told me, she was like, this is great. Can you edit this part out? And it sucks because, you were just editing it for 5 hours, and then you say, you know what, yeah, I could do that, because you want it to come out perfectly. You don't want to have mistakes in there. You want to be represented good. And then, guys, this is just about me right here. I work for STAC currently. Based on my Baking Memories internship, I was able to acquire a job here at STAC, making videos and getting paid for it for the first time. I'm finally making some kind of money off of this. And you may have seen it, Spartan on the Run. It's really fun. It's something I'm passionate about. I'm making money for doing something that I actually love. And then if you want to check out that content, it's on STAC's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. If you want to check out something that'll make your heart feel good, go to Baking Memories website, YouTube. I'm on there too. And then if you want to have a good laugh, go over to Markham Mass Studios. We definitely like to have fun. Hey, Derek, where you at? Derek Kelly, you got the prize? Guys, right before I finish this off, I just want to say I love film. I really do love movies. I don't know if you guys care about movies. I do. I'm going to ask a trivia question. If you win it, Derek Kelly has the most awesome Storch orange cream soda. Yes, absolutely. So if you get the question right, more than happy to give you the soda. There was a great movie trilogy by Sam Raimi. It's called Spider-Man, right? Right, Matt? Yeah, he knows it. Tobey Maguire was the lead. There was a man who played his best friend, Harry. Come on, what's the name of the actor who played Harry? What? Where are we going? Oh, James Hannigan hosting tonight. What's up, man? What's the answer?
James Franco.
James Franco, Derek, bring him over his soda. He deserved it, man. Seriously, he deserved it. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me. Really, it means a lot that you came on a Thursday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And now I got orange cream soda now. Appreciate that, my man. Life is good. Life is good. All right. All right. And so for our final speaker for tonight, someone who's currently an associate producer for News 12 in New Jersey. She graduated in STAC in May 2019 with a communications arts degree with a concentration in broadcasting and digital content. She gained experience in numerous aspects of communications, including television production, writing, social media, through both her classes, internships, and service learning projects. Last but not least, Gianna Paisano.
Hello, everyone. So as they just said, my name is Gian Pisano. I graduated last May 2019. I majored in communications, concentration in broadcasting, double minor, journalism and social media. I'm currently working at News 12 as an associate producer. I've worked there since graduating. And during my time at STAC, I did my service learning project with Erin at People to People. So I'm just going to kind of go through this very briefly because Erin pretty much said everything. But we got the internship first through our social media marketing class here. So we spent the semester creating content for People to People. And then at the end, we presented it all to the director there, and she loved it. She wanted to keep a couple of us on as interns to kind of implement it, and that's exactly what we did. So we spent the next semester kind of posting, keeping up with the content, making sure everything was updated, and controlling all of the different social media platforms. So for the most important things I learned, it was definitely self-sufficiency, coming up with original ideas, and teamwork. So with a typical internship, I feel like you always kind of go to a company, you go to a place, you go to a newsroom, and you go there, at least a few times a week, and you meet with someone, you have someone you work underneath, and they tell you what to do, and they kind of give you guidance. With this, it was a little bit more self-driven. Sure, we came up with the ideas, and we had to get them checked, and like Erin said, we went there about once a week, once every other week, just to make sure we were on the right track. But for the most part, it was up to us to kind of decide what we thought was good, what we thought would work, what we thought our audience would want to see, and would kind of try to increase the exposure for People to People. So with that said, we started to come up with original ideas, which we realized was very important very quickly to kind of engage our audience. Like I said, without that exact direction of exactly what we needed to do, we had to figure that out ourselves. So I ran the Instagram page, and something I definitely wanted to implement, I love a good inspirational quote, and I thought that was something that people like to wake up to every day. You wake up, you see an inspirational quote on your Instagram timeline, kind of starts your day off right. So that was something I started to do. At least a few times a week I would post a quote in the morning, maybe make people smile in the morning or whatever. And then, like Erin said, we started mostly on the blog, getting to know an employee of People to People, which people really liked. And then for teamwork, it was just being able to work together. We all did our separate platforms, so we all had to make sure that we were always on the same page, kind of across the board, to make sure we were sending out the same message that People to People was trying to get out into the community. Definitely my favorite part was just to help increase the exposure of an organization that does so much good in the community. Normally when you work for a company or a business, that's great, but most of the times they're driven by the profit they're going to make. For People to People, they want exposure to help other people in the community, and that's not something you get to experience very often. So how my skills from People to People helped me get other internships. So I always knew I wanted to work in TV, and I kind of decided that's where my next step needed to be. So right after my internship with People to People, I went to WABC TV Eyewitness News, where I was a 7 on Your Side intern. And there I you might want to know, how did my social media internship help me get this? But really it was the ideas that we came up with. When I went for the interview, they asked me, have you had another internship before? And I said, well, not in TV. But I did this, and I actually specifically mentioned that we came up with the idea to interview the different employees. And my interviewer said, oh, you came up with that? And I said, well, I did, with the other 2 people I work with. But he said, that's a really great idea. And then the next day I got offered the job, so I guess he liked whatever I was doing. And then from there, the next semester, I went to CBS This Morning, where I worked at the Broadcast Associate Desk, which was mostly like pulling clips for, doing research for the next day's show. But it was also pitching stories to producers during meetings. So kind of the same way that you have to create content knowing what your audience would want to see, you pitch stories knowing what your audience wants to see when they wake up in the morning. What's the story they want to see? So it's kind of the same idea. So you kind of don't even realize how little things you're doing along the way kind of help you with bigger things to reach your ultimate goals in the long run. And obviously all of this helped me get my current position where I am now. So why I recommend participating in service learning, definitely you get a different kind of experience than with traditional internships. Like I said, you're not working for a company that's trying to make money. You're working for someone that you have a little more leeway with what you want to do, at least in our experience. It kind of gives you more room to grow as a person and professionally, and kind of figure out what you want to do. And you're helping the community, which is really what it comes down to. You know that your work is going to something more than just helping someone gain a profit. So how to get involved? I think the easiest way to do it is if you really want to go work someplace, especially a nonprofit, you go to them and say, I'm passionate about what you stand for. You go and you say, I want to get involved in any way you can. Now, that's as easy as saying, can I help out on your social media pages? I think I can help you expand your exposure in the community. Can I plan an event for you, help you raise some money for your cause, or anything like that? Or even if you just want to go in and say, can I help volunteer here? I want to see what it's like on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't really matter. It's a nonprofit. I highly doubt they're going to say no. They're doing such good work. They just want as much help as they can. And then making the most of your experience. Make sure that you're committed to your work. Don't just do something to say, yeah, I want to get experience, so this is the easiest way for me to do it. Make sure it's something you actually care about. People helps feed so many hungry people in the community in Rockland County. And that's something that was important. And you have to realize that it's important and that you're helping others. Come up with a plan before. When we went in with a full social media plan. Of course, we did make little changes and kind of improvise along the way. But for the most part, we knew what we were doing. It wasn't like waking up and saying, oh my God, what are we going to do today? We have nothing planned. So I think that helps a lot, so you're not just freaking out the whole time and stressed throughout the whole semester about what you're going to do. And then finally, really just take the time to realize that what you're doing is not only helping to increase your own skills to help you in the long run and help you in your career or whatever you want to do. Make sure that you realize that what you're doing is helping so many other people beyond what you would even know or see or be able to do with a lot of other things. And then from there, you have to do, like I said, I work in TV now, so it goes from one thing to another, but you have to realize also that little things can help you a long way in the long run, and I think one of the best ways to do that is through service learning.
Say this, right? I'd like to thank all of our speakers, Professor Winship, and everyone in our event planning class that made this possible. But before we break off to that, I'd like to invite all of the speakers back to the stage at this time. The floor is open to ask all questions to any of our speakers. Thank you so much.
Mark, if you could come up here real quick. Thank you. Dan Grossman, you're a runner. Okay, folks, so we held the questions until the end of the program, so now's your chance to take the next 10 minutes and just ask away to any of the speakers individually or present a question to them as a group. And we'll bring the microphone to you, so just raise your hand if you have a question and we'll come to you.
Questions? Any questions?
I graduated in 2022. Sophomore. Hey.
Okay, so my favorite part of Baking Memories for Kids would definitely be just giving back to others. I feel like this is the first time in my life that I really dedicated a lot of my time specifically with a nonprofit. I never worked with a nonprofit before, and I feel not that I'm a selfish person, but I just feel being given having this built into the class and the curriculum really was an eye-opening experience, and it was definitely a mutually beneficial experience for both myself and Baking Memories. So I would definitely say I'm grateful to have spent my time giving back to Baking Memories and to contributing to helping raise donations that will send ill children on a dream vacation of theirs.
Sekou.
It was really easy. You just go online. I just Googled really pretty much any TV job that was within a relative distance to here. and I went and I found it. But the advice I would give is I would just say apply to as many as you can. I mean, I applied to tons and tons and tons, and this is the one interview I got, and it worked out for me, and I'm very thankful and lucky for that. But I think just don't give up. I mean, you just have to keep applying. It's hard, and I think also don't get discouraged if you think you're really, really like ready to do a certain job, and your resume kind of fits the whole job posting, and then they send you something back that you're not what they're looking for at this time. I would say just keep applying, because someone out there is going to recognize that you could work for them.
My question for all of you. So how exactly did it go from like an in-class service learning experiment to like actual internships?
Okay, I'll go first. So I don't. Oh, she wants to know how it went from an in-class learning experience, service learning experience, to an actual internship. So for Erin and I, at least for people to people, we got it through our social media marketing class. So like I said, we kind of all split into groups in the class, and our whole focus was creating a content plan for people to people. And then after that, once we presented it to the director there, she was really interested in, kind of going forward with it and getting as much exposure for people to people as she could through using social media, because it's something that they didn't necessarily have the resources for at the time. So she thought having a few of us stay on would be best to kind of implement it. And Erin and I kind of volunteered. We decided it would be a good idea for us, and that's really how it worked out. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree that how amazing it is to have these classes where we get to work with these nonprofit organizations. It's almost as if like the hard part's over. They brought it to you. Now it's how can you help them? So, as Gianna said, we were in class together, and maybe like once or twice throughout the semester, that person who was in charge of the organization came in. I always personally made it a point to speak with them after class and say hi, like, for United Way. And people to people, I made sure to speak to them and just always talk to them and say, hey, I'm interested in this. I like what you do with this. Like, recognize something, even if it's something. This is also good for like interviews and stuff when you're applying for a company or an organization or whatever. If you go on that like website or look at that mission statement or look at anything like that, you are learning and showing that you care. So getting to see these organizations come to life. And with United Way, when we started working with them, they had little to no social media exposure at all. We actually got to help them bring it to life. So the overall thing is that we're gaining that experience, and we're thinking we're taking that textbook knowledge and putting it to real knowledge, but you're really bringing their whole social media life to life. So it's really great.
So my experience is a little bit different from theirs, because my service learning, I didn't continue into the internship after the course ended. However, this service learning experience has just gotten me, like I mentioned in my presentation, has just gotten me an internship this summer, which I'm really thankful for. I did a Skype interview with the head of the company that I'm going to work for. And when I was going over all of my experiences, he was kind of just like, yeah, like that's cool. And then when I got to, at the time, this has been my most recent experience. When I got to the Baking Memories experience, he was kind of like, really like, wow, like that's so cool that your school has allowed you to like build a nonprofit into the curriculum and really like utilize like the local nonprofits and make it a class. So that kind of really that's kind of like where I got him in the interview, and he called me back for a second interview, and then I basically got the position. So that was really how my service learning experience has benefited me. And although I haven't continued the internship with Baking Memories, it's definitely given me other opportunities.
For my internship, I did continue with Baking Memories for Kids. It pretty much started when I came to class. About 2 weeks in, Professor Winship came in the door, and she said, Mark, I saw your YouTube channel. And my first thought was, great, now I have to drop the class. She actually saw my YouTube channel. But she was actually like, I love it. It's great. You edit such great videos together. You should make a video for Baking Memories. And I was like, that is an awesome idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. And she put that idea in my head. I met with Frank at the headquarters. They're located in Valley Cottage, so they're right nearby. And I just went to his house, talked to him about what the message was they wanted to convey through a video trailer. That was my first project, making them just a standard trailer about what their company is. And after making that trailer, Frank loved it. The school even really liked it. And a couple weeks later, they contacted me and said, hey, you should really consider making videos for the college. Set up a meeting then. And now I'm a hired employee here to make videos, as well as continuing the internship with Baking Memories, just because I love Frank and I really do love what they do. I think it's really important. So it's something that I'm proud to say that I work for that company still, and I would love to continue that internship even after the semester's over.
I know Mark said he was more on the production side of everything, but clearly, as someone who's not in communications, what are like your top tip or like your top tips for running a social media page or anything like that for a department?
So his question was geared towards us who kind of focus more on the social media aspect of the nonprofits. And his question is focusing on, like, how do you really know how to, I guess, like, market the company? So the first thing you want to do when you're working with, like, not just a nonprofit, with a company, you want to, like, determine who your target audience is. So, like, for example, like, the current Instagram that my sister and I run, our target audience is, like, millennial Gen Z women, because it's, like, a hair page focused, so like not a lot of guys are going to be like focused on that. Baking Memories for Kids, when we were working with them, the Frank's cousin Christina came in and we conducted an interview with her, and we went over her goals with like her wishes and the goals that she wanted us to work on while we were working with them. And basically what she said was that they kind of have a really good relationship with like grandmothers and like mothers, and they really wanted to focus on a younger demographic. So our goal for Baking Memories was to essentially like fulfill that wish and to expand their reach into basically our demographic, college students, high school students. So it's really important to determine like who you're targeting, because then like the content is geared towards that audience. So for example, the content that Mark was working on, that I was working on, it was all geared towards us. So like because we're in the shoes of the target market, it was kind of like easy for us to figure out like what to post. It has to be entertaining, it has to be flashy videos, like stuff like that, stuff that you guys would want to see. Not so much that like a grandmother would want to see. So it's really important to determine like who you're trying to target.
She pretty much got it all. But I would also just say, I know she mentioned it too, definitely go from whatever like the client wants, you know, what they're really trying to get out of it and what their ultimate goal is from it. And I think that just makes it a lot easier altogether. You kind of have a focus point from there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just know your audience, know what you're working for, try and know everything about your organization or your company. You have to know it inside and out, because if you don't know it, then nobody else that you're talking to is going to know it either. And like Gianna said, like you kind of have to go with what the client wants. So when we went for People to People and United Way, they kind of gave like a general thing, like I want this to be relayed. I want to talk about this event. Like we have this coming up. We have so many initiatives we want to do. Then you kind of work from there. So it's really just depending on who you're working with.
Yeah, they hit it all. Again, I develop most of the content to post, so I did help with social media, posting on the Instagram page a lot. I did work with Carly on that at times, but she pretty much ran that department, that show. James.
I know you guys touched upon time management, and do you have any other pieces of advice for people trying to juggle school, personal life, work, relationship all at the same time? Videos,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, James. Currently, right now, I got my Baking Memories internship, STAC, my own YouTube that I try to keep up with as much as I can with Matt, as well as I work at a physical therapy clinic, and then you got to manage your personal life. A lot of times, it's just about scheduling the right way. So for my physical therapy job that I do, I'm not a bio major. I don't know much about physical therapy. I just do it because I'm a college kid that needs money. But that happens in the morning, 8 to 12:30, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, boom. And then I know the rest of the day that I'm going to my production class at 1 p.m. to 2:25 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. After that, I can tell the school here, or I can tell Frank, hey, if you're available, 2:30 to the rest of the day. I leave them that that gap in the day, you know, for you. If you want to make content, let's get it done. And then usually what I do is when I have a piece of video, I try to edit it and create it in a day or 2 days. So just stay up late, get it done so you're not stressing about it later. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're making this stuff, or say I go filmed it one day and then I waited 3 days to get to editing it, forget it. Now I'm stressed out because I also have like two video assignments for school as well as homework for my other classes, you know? So it's just about scheduling in the right time slots, finding what works for you.
Yeah. So the question was, what are our tips on time management and juggling internships and service learning in school? Mark pretty much hit it all, but in my experience, like last semester, I was doing my service learning. I had an internship on top of that. I babysit on top of that, plus school and like my personal life. So last semester was a little hectic, but how I managed it, I'm really thankful for Moodle Rooms because you can see the layout of your schedule. It's like visually right there in front of you. So for me, if I saw that I had 3 assignments due on Monday, on Thursday or Wednesday the week before, I would try to get ahead on that. And also it was kind of what's the word? It was easy for us because our class was intertwined with the service learning. So like whatever we would do on Instagram, the assignment would be like, what did you guys contribute this week for the service learning project? So it would just be like, oh, I just finished posting for last week for Halloween. I threw a post up on Baking Memories Instagram. So I would go on my Moodle Rooms and I would find the class that was intertwined with that and I would just bang that homework assignment out right away. So part of it, like Mark said, Mark hit a lot of it, but also like Moodle Rooms is really important. Get ahead on your work and kind of just plan it out. Have like a written planner as well. To-do lists help as well.
Basically what they both said, but again, just when I did all my internships, I obviously went to school, I worked part-time, and I had my internship. But I think it's just about making it work. You know, if you really enjoy what you're doing, I think, then it's not so bad. I think, of course, there are challenging times when you have like 10 assignments due and you have this and that, but if you really enjoy what you're doing, it's not bad at all. You definitely make it work, and it's worth making it work.
Totally agree with them. In my personal experience, when I was at STAC, I was in 7 different clubs on campus. I was that person that was all the way around campus doing every single thing. Mostly in the performing arts. I was the president of the Latari Players, performing arts. You know, other things like STAC Capella, STAC Singers, the Communication Arts Club. I was just super, super involved. And then on top of that, I also did work study and I worked part-time in the registrar's office. And then I had my internship with in my last semester, I was working with Andy Lombardi, which was the head of STAC Communications. So I was just trying to do that with all my homework, my personal life, my social life, all of that. It sounds like something that's so cliche, but I am such a big like list maker. Like I have to make a to-do list. Like I have to be like, what's important, what's not important, you know, not as important, what you can get to kind of last. It's just really writing everything down because you're just going to remember everything. And I still do that at CNBC right now. Every single day when I go in, I make a list. I make of what I need to do. How long do I think it's going to be? Just, it's really all about timing and really just being prepared and knowing what you're doing. And you can see it all together, and that will kind of just make it go a little easier.
One last very quick thing, James. I would say what I like to do, I was talking to you about this the other day. Give yourself at least one day of the week. Just do whatever you want that one day of the week. Take a day off. You know what I mean? We're so busy all the time with school and everything. Just take one personal day during the week. Hang out with your family, your girlfriend, your brother, whatever you want to do. Go see a movie. Take a day.
Okay, folks, we're going to hold questions now because what we want to do is move into the next segment of our event. So I'm going to pass it over to the hosts in a minute. But first and foremost, I just want to personally thank these wonderful speakers. They have a lot of knowledge. So if you have the opportunity to stick around a little bit, they're going to be, after everybody gets some food, we have free pizza, free desserts. Each speaker will be sitting in the back at a table, and we're going to run some speed networking. So if you didn't get a chance to ask a question that you had, or if you want to talk a little bit more intimately with one or all of the speakers, using that word very cautiously, you will be able to do so during our speed networking segment, which will come after refreshments are served. So I'm going to pass it back to our hosts, but first I want everyone to give a round of applause to these 4 great speakers. Pick their brains, especially if you are a CA major. We got Disney, we got lots of great nonprofits, we have really big news and production studios here, that people that are working there, and you can pick their brains. So here are our hosts.
All right, guys. So for the next 10 minutes, come grab some pizza, refreshments, and some dessert, and then we'll go right into our speed networking.
And please know, if you participate in the speed networking, you have an opportunity to win a $25 Starbucks gift card. So a little better than that Fanta. So, yeah. Thank you, guys.